Before I'll say it again, you can't trust a forward. Listen to my words tonight. Don't just fall in love with my face. I used to be somewhat of a big deal, wheeling and dealing, no bucket in the warm-up, people carrying my bags in. How many times do I have to tell you through text, let's talk about the PK? That is a dirty hit that needs a response. I like a stiff, stout pillow. We'd rather dress nobody than dress you.
The only thing I like better than easy points are free Slurpees.
Goalies embellish all the time. He tumbled over like he was hit by a Zamboni. Am I this good, or are we just winning by 7 goals, and that's why I'm out here? Just say, I know you're right, Struddy. Just get it out. I think I am the modern-day Ronnie Dangerfield.
Yeah, get no respect.
And now, Weiss Johnson presents Struddy's World. Here's your host, a guy who's willing to take a little less on this contract as long as it helps the team, Jason Strudwick.
Oh, man, is it good to be back. Season 2, Episode 1. Welcome to Struddy's World with myself and Zubie. We're so happy to be back and to share our thoughts and insight into what's going on with the world of the Oilers and sports across our great place. The show is brought to you by our good buddies at Weiss Johnson Heating and Air Conditioning. Their end-of-season AC sale is on now until the end of October. Get up to 20% off any in-stock air conditioners. Visit wjjingle.com for exclusive specials just for all you Jingles lovers. And for the first time on the show, hit it.
Weiss Johnson, whoa.
Oh, so good to be back. Zubie and I are so excited to be here. It's episode 1 for us and game 1 for the Edmonton Oilers. Let's do this. Everyone's jacked. We've obviously got a lot going on with McDavid signing. There's another signing today. We're going to tell you about potential of another discussion of a signing. So Zubie, what a day to be. First show, ready to go for this year. You and I are rocking all year long.
I'm excited, and it's fun to, well, I haven't been feeling 100%, so I might have slept in a little bit today to wake up and to see that there's so much news. Well, I had about 400 text messages and group chat things from all the different things we have going, but to see some exciting news, more stuff, Ekholm, Kyle Connor, stuff for the Oilers and around the league. Yeah, it's a very exciting time, and I'm feeling it now. I'm not sure I was up until this point, but now I'm feeling it. I'm excited.
Yeah, you're literally playing injured, and you're going to play through it. You got an hour for us, and we're all jacked up about it. So let's just set up the show for you here. Obviously, we're going to get you up to speed with Rishaug's going to join us in a little bit here to kind of give us his insight from the rink. Playing the field, we'll tell you what's going on around the rest of the sporting world, including the Jays. Ooh, heartbreak city. Now I think Jays fans are a little nervous. Tonight the game goes, and they've got all the people in the bullpen playing tonight. And then getting off the fence, Zubie's going to challenge us all with an interesting take on the McDavid contract. But right now, Zub, let's get right into what's going on with the Edmonton Oilers. It is game 1. We know that Walman's not playing. He's injured. We know that Zach Hyman did scave the team. He's not playing either. But thanks to Tony Brower, Tony's put up the lines. Here we can see it on the Twitter machine. So you've got Leon with McDavid and Trent Frederick. We've seen that before. Mangiapane, Nuge, and Savoy. Followed by Podkolzin, Philp, and Kapanen. Interesting mix there. And then Howard making his debut in the NHL, along with Henrique at center, and Tomaszek. He is also going to make his NHL debut tonight. And then on D, Ekholm Bouchard, we know that. Nurse Regula, getting his first look in an Oilers jersey. Then Kulak, Emberson, as mentioned, Walman's out as a Stetcher, and Stu Skinner is starting in the pipes. By my count, Zubie, we have 5 new forwards in the lineup. Mangi, I call him, Mangiapane, Savoy, Philp, Howard, and Tomaszek. Now, it would probably only be 4 if Hyman was healthy. Maybe it would be more. I'm not sure. But 5 new forwards out of 12, that's quite a bit when you kind of stack it up that way.
Yeah, it is. It felt like a pretty quiet offseason, but when you look at it that way, it really wasn't. You know, it's there's a lot of turnover there. So I'm excited to see these young guys. If this feels different than the start of last year, where even though there was Arvidsson and Skinner, though, they were the new additions, and people were excited to see them. I'm excited in a different way because I want to see what these young guys can do. That third line of Philp with Podkolzin and Kapanen, like that's a big line. That's a big, heavy line. I'm excited to see them. I hope they're out there banging a little bit.
I think it'd be fantastic. Now, even to take it back from this time last year, according to my Ralph calculations, the forwards have 8 new forwards. So new forwards from this time last year: Trent Frederick, Mangiapane, Savoy, Podkolzin, Philp, Kapanen, Tomashek, and Howard. That's 8 new forwards in this lineup. 8! That is 75%. That was my chemistry mark in grade 12. That's pretty incredible. Now, I know that Hyman's not in there, but you want to talk about turning a team over? A team that made it to Game 7 the year before. Last year made it to the finals. This year, starting again. So they are getting turnover. They're obviously trying to get younger. Not sure they're getting bigger, but they're trying to get younger. So something to keep an eye out for sure. News of the day, Zubie. The news that you woke up to, we all saw: Mattias Ekholm sign an extension. Yep. If you haven't heard it, you're welcome. It was my idea. We talked about it on Got Your Back last night. Mattias Ekholm, 3-year contract times $4 million. Say what? Did you say $4 million? That's right. $4 million from Mattias Ekholm. This is a great deal for the team. And I think it's not a great deal for Ekholm, but I think it's a fair deal for him. He's getting older. But 3 years, he knows he's going to be here through that time. I believe he's going to be a top line pairing defenseman this year. I believe next year he would be in the same conversation. And let's say year 2 and 3, Zubie, he drops off to maybe second pairing. $4 million for a second-year pairing D is really good. You got to keep in mind, everyone, the cap's going up. Cody Ceci signed with the LA Kings for more than this is for Ekholm. So no disrespect to Ceci. Who would you rather have, Ekholm or Ceci? Again, both good players. I'll take Ekholm every day. So huge news for the Edmonton Oilers. Ekholm signed. Very important for this team.
He brings so much stability, no matter who he's paired with. So I like that idea that, yeah, you can move him up and down the pairings if he can't pull 24 minutes a game. You can find someone else to play him with, bring stability to another pair, leadership, all of those good things. So yeah, I'm pumped. I'm glad he wants to be here. Should we get to his sound?
Yes, let's hear from the man of the hour. Mattias Ekholm signs the 3-year times $4 million contract with the Oilers.
That should be on a second pair, and that's obviously a really good problem to have. So think the world of these guys. I think we've shown in the last 2 seasons too that we can swing them with the best. So really confident in our whole team, but I think our defense has been very solid.
I feel like it's when Connor does what he did, just the commitment that he has to winning, just you feel like your chance to win here with a guy like that in a group like this is as good as anywhere.
Absolutely. I mean, I was saying to somebody the other day there that like it'd be hard to go to a place where you're not there to win, so to speak. I know that everybody tries to win, but at the end of the day, there might be a handful of teams that actually have a legit chance of winning. And knowing that Connor will be here, and I know obviously what he did with his contract, knowing that we can build around that as well is very exciting to me. And I know this team has. We've gotten that close, so. That was a big part of obviously staying and knowing that I still have a chance to win, and I have a few more years here, and that's all I'm looking to do.
Did you envision this when you first sort of came here and decided this was going to be your home? Did you envision it? It seemed like a real good fit right from the start, personally and hockey-wise.
Yeah, I did not envision it to go this way, but obviously it only took a couple months, and we really enjoyed Edmonton as a city. Obviously, when you're on the road side of things and you just come here for the colder months and whatnot, it's probably harder. You don't know as much about the city, let's put it that way. You kind of tend to stay in the hotel and you go to do your dinner and then you play the game. But I've been really surprised about the community that is within Edmonton. I think it's fantastic. I think there's places around Edmonton that's absolutely gorgeous, and we really enjoy being here and really happy the way it has turned out, if I'll put it that way.
So, you've talked about it over the years.
That's Mattias Ekholm from the arena this morning. Obviously, he likes it here. And I think it's really important that he's staying. I think that this D group is the best they've had under Connor McDavid, the best. And if no one gets injured, this group will be who starts the playoffs. They're not going to trade for anybody else because they don't need it. They're 5 deep and they have depth after that. So really important for him. Ryan Rishaug also tweeted out regarding Kulak. I want to get into that. Kulak's also free agent. So they had Walman coming up. They had Kulak or Ekholm coming up. Both those guys signed. And now here we go with Kulak, according to Ryan Rishaug's tweet this morning. Sounds like there has been some extension discussions with the Kulak camp, but nothing imminent. We'll be interested to see which way he goes with it. Free agency market might be something enticing to explore for him, but his role with Edmonton is important. Is a chance to win. Again, chance to win. If you like where you are, I really think staying there is important. But Kulak is a good D-man. Could he be paid higher than a 5 or a 4 on another team? Will be interesting to see how that plays out in the next little while. But we know that he'll be there for this year. Zubie, I want to look ahead to tonight's game a little bit. Dustin Wolf's playing for the Calgary Flames. A guy I think has got a really great opportunity because Walman's out is Regula. Now, if you're not familiar with Regula, he's been out for quite a while with an injury the whole year last year, just trying to get back and being healthy. He is healthy. He had a good preseason. In fact, it caught my eye. Caught a lot of people's eyes.
Yeah.
Big right shot defenseman, can move well. He'll get a chance to play with Darnell Nurse tonight. I would take this game very seriously if I was Regula. Not suggesting he wouldn't anyways, but this is a huge opportunity for him to make the coaches realize we got to find more opportunities for this guy to play. We don't know when Jake Walman's coming back. Maybe it'd be on the weekend. So that's one less spot. Those 5 guys are playing, then there's one spot beside Kulak. So I think for him, he's got to play well. He might not play the next game. Who knows? But leave a taste in their mouth that, like, man, we want this guy to play more. I'll be watching him really closely for this game. The mobility, I like to see more physicality and making a good first pass. Watch for those things tonight, guys.
Is there anything, if he's paired with Nurse, what does he have to take into account playing with Darnell Nurse that makes his game stand out?
Well, I think he and Darnell, they're massive. They're long arms, long sticks, big bodies. So use those big bodies. Make it, shut down zone entries. Make it hard to get out of the corner. Make it uncomfortable in front of the net. Make good first passes. They both can skate, get up in the play, support the play. So in some ways, he could be a reflection a little bit, a mirror image of what Darnell is. So I'm looking forward to seeing these two guys in action against the team. Now, the Flames, for those of you who don't remember from last year, not a high-scoring team, and they're without Huberdeau tonight. Oh, right. So that does change. That he's a pretty good scorer. Whether or not he's as good as his money suggests, it doesn't matter. But I think for tonight, Regula, let's keep an eye on him because he needs to play. I think there's an opportunity here, and this could be really like found gold if he can work out. New players making their debut. We mentioned Ike Howard and Tomaszek making their debut, which will be very exciting. I think Howard's going to be, fun to watch. I don't know where his career goes as far as the short term, but he was at the rink today. And let's hear some sound from him and what he thinks about the first game for him.
Well, you've been waiting a little while for this moment. Just give me a sense of how you're feeling, what the nerves are like, and what's going through your head right now.
Yeah, I'd just say I'm super excited. Definitely can't wait for it to be puck drop today. Just get out there. Obviously, it's a moment I've been looking forward to my whole life. So being able to do that today is going to be pretty special.
What was the last 48 hours for you? You had to sort of mix in some travel back and forth. Maybe not an ideal scenario, but maybe adrenaline takes over.
Yeah, I had to do a little travel on the planes here. Flew to Denver, then flew into Bakersfield. Then pretty much turned around, flew back to Denver, flew back into Edmonton. So.
I think that's called a milk run.
Yeah, it was life on a plane for the last couple of days, but I'm just excited now to get out there and play.
How do you blend trying to be yourself and be creative, have fun out there and kind of rely on your skill, but also understanding program's a little different, stakes are a little higher, and being mindful as well?
Yeah, I think it's got to be a healthy blend. Obviously, use my skill, vision stuff when I see fit, but at the same time, I got to be strong on pucks, finish checks, play hard, pump my legs, do just little things like that, just to keep my spot.
Any family around?
Yeah, my parents are in town. 2 of my brothers, grandparents, my girlfriend, her parents. So a good solid crew.
Good luck tonight. Have fun.
Thank you.
That's Ike Howard down at the rink. Listen, Zoop, all he has to do is just play. Just go and play. Listen, it's his first NHL game. His head is literally going to be spinning. I remember my first game. I didn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I was sweating profusely all night, all day. It was just a disaster. So just go and play. Don't overthink it. Don't try to do more than you are. So he'll be, his feet will not touch the ice tonight, and it's so exciting for him. And we'll look forward to see what he can do, and then moving forward after this.
Was your first game a season opener also?
No, it was mid-season in Hartford, so no one was there. But I was just so rattled, and I remember thinking I wanted to fight people. It was absolutely incredible. I actually played pretty well, but I would, if I was a teammate, I said, buddy, just go and play, skate, shoot, forecheck. Don't overthink anything. Just enjoy the moment. You only get one first, and that's a really special one for him. Should be mentioned that line with Henrique, Tomashek, and Howard. It'll be Henrique and Savoy killing penalties apparently together. Henrique's a very smart player. Savoy is as well. According to Coach Knobloch, they'll be together. I look forward to seeing what that penalty kill looks like. I'm worried about it, Zubie. In the early part, I think Oilers fans should be patient with the results, because changing systems isn't easy. And it's a pretty big dramatic shift of what they're doing and changing. So I think be patient with that penalty kill. We'll see how it goes after that.
And you've made it known that you don't kind of love this conceptually you don't love this. So what do you think's driven this change? Is it personnel based or just philosophy?
Well, I think maybe, it didn't work very well last year, so I think they want to get away from it. And I think they're going to try to stay tighter and not allow people to pass pucks through the box. I think that's where they're looking to get shots more straight on, and that'll allow their goaltenders to see the puck and have a chance to save it rather than trying to get across for something that's maybe not there. So lots still to get you with the Oilers. Let's get up to speed now, though, with our good buddies from McDonald's, helping you get your morning started right. Like always, you can pick up a small McCafe premium roast coffee for the low price of just $1 plus tax. That's every single day. Stop in at your local McDonald's and kickstart your day the right way. Okay, so we've got you caught up on the lines, a couple news and moments of the day. Let's go back down now to the rink, and we'll hear from our friend Ryan Rishaug, as he just left us a brief note on things that he heard and saw at practice today.
What's up, Zubie? What's up, Struddy? Hope you guys are having a great episode 1 of season 2 of Struddy's World. Sorry I couldn't join you live. Just had some work to get done here down at the rink. So the Calgary Flames have just taken to the ice. Oilers just finished up their availabilities. Look, no big surprises. The lines basically are the same as they've been for the last couple of days. Although Ike Howard is back and he is playing tonight, making his NHL debut on that line with Tomashek and Adam Henrique. It's been a bit of a milk run for him all the way to California and back. And was it just me, or did he have a little bit of a rasp in his voice? I'm not sure how he's feeling, but adrenaline will be firing in a big way tonight as Howard makes his NHL debut. Tomashek, same thing. Going to be interesting to see the Oiler penalty kill in particular, Struds. I know you always love talking about it on the show. We can't talk about the penalty kill enough. Well, might very well be a storyline again this year. Let's keep a close eye on that tonight. Lots of changes in system, changes in personnel. It was not great during the exhibition schedule. I talked to Chris Knobloch about that today, and he admits they're going to have to be patient. Matt Savoy, by the way, is going to get penalty killing duties as he did in exhibition season alongside Adam Henrique. So that pretty much does it as far as news goes. Have a great rest of your show, fellas, and we'll talk to you on Got Your Back tonight. Cheers, Struddy.
Yeah, we got you back after the game tonight. Great to have Schauger. We'll have him, for most days here to kind of get us caught up to speed of what's going on down at the rink. Okay, so we touched a little bit on the penalty kill. Ike Howard, the other guy I'm looking at, or two guys I'm looking at here, Zub, that I think are important is Mangiapane. The fans of the Oilers have a bit of PTSD from the way it worked for Skinner and Arvidsson last year. For Mangiapane, I think his game is somewhere between those two guys, actually, maybe a hybrid. I think he can play with some edge that Arvidsson tried to bring. I think he's a little faster than Arvidsson. And then on the other side, I think he can finish. Probably not as natural a goal scorer as Skinner, but there is the opportunity for him to finish. So tonight, playing with Savoy and Nuge, both those guys are very smart, cerebral, fast players. And I think for Mangiapane, he's got to be a guy that's a little bit more physical on that line, although he's not the biggest guy. He's got to be physical, get in on the forecheck, get pucks back, find those guys and try to get open and get pucks back and get them to the net. So that's a line I really want to keep my eye open on, because if they're going to play McDavid with Frederick and Leon, this isn't what I'd call an elite second line on paper with Mangiapane, Savoy, and Nuge. Capable players, one young for sure in Savoy who has very little experience. But this line has got to produce. They've got to find a way to put goals on the board. They can't just be a second line that just tries to break even every night, buddy.
Yeah, I hope. Well, they'll get a better. They're going to get a better matchup than every team's going to have to concern their top defensive matchup on the McDavid line. So they're going to get a better matchup, and yeah, I just hope they can get creative and create some chances, and it's all about expectation. What are the expectations too? I think people forget when you think about for Mangiapane specifically that when you think about scoring goals, if you score a goal every other game, that's a 40-goal season. I think the expectations are too high to think about. We need these guys. We need this guy to score every so often. So I think you have to temper expectations with how many pucks are actually going to go in the net for him. But yeah, I'd like to see them create and contribute. The skills all there across the board for those three. So hopefully it starts tonight too. You just don't want them going 3-4 games without netting one,
100%. And I think 20 goals is reasonable for Mangiapane. I think that's what
I see.
Where he's sitting in the lineup, the people he's playing with, and the ice time he's going to get, I think 20 goals is what he should be shooting for. And I'm sure he's probably has higher expectations, but if he gets 20 at 3.5 sheets, I'm pretty content with that. Tomaszek, another player I think we'll all be watching really closely. I mean, there's a lot of players through this lineup like Kapanen and Puckholtz, and we know Connor Leon. But Tomaszek, watch his foot speed. Can he keep up? He's playing the wing tonight. He's not at center. Very smart player. I think he's really dangerous when the puck's on his stick because he's very smart, very savvy. But these are NHL defensemen he's playing against. These guys are big. They're smart. They're savvy as well. So let's see if he can get the foot speed to get up there. Henrique isn't exactly a burner either. Very smart, very cerebral hockey player. And I think Howard has the most speed on that line. So not a full burner line, but can they find a way to put some stuff together and find Howard, who definitely likes to shoot? So lots of storylines went through, lots of things to watch tonight. Only game one. But I don't remember there's being this many storylines last year, Zubie, when we were starting with game one for the Oilers.
No, it was just the storyline last year was just, I mean, there were the new guys, but it was still running it back. It was the heartbreak of the game 7 loss and running it back and starting, the road, what a long road it is to get to that point again, which they ultimately did. But it doesn't feel like that this year. It feels more like this kind of fresh start, working in some new guys. And I think it'll be more of a tale of how this team progresses and gels over the course of the season to then make a playoff run. I don't think the expectations are there in the same way.
No, I think there's got to be a lot of internal growth of this group. I mean, I highlighted 5 players that are here: Savoy, Howard, Tomaszek, Philp, and Mangiapane. I think all of them, maybe not Mangiapane, but 4 of them definitely, and Podkolzin. It's a lot of internal growth. Pagula, a lot of internal growth. Emberson, a lot of internal growth. And one last guy, we can't talk episode 1 without talking about the netminder, Stu Skinner. Let's go back down the rink. We've got some sound from Stu Skinner from earlier today.
Season openers, home openers, are they any different for you? What does it? I mean, it's a long sort of build up to get to this point, so I imagine you're probably pretty eager.
Oh yeah, very eager. I think all of us are super eager to just get out there and just have the puck drop and just kind of start. Yeah, I mean, it has been a long lead up, a little camp before camp, and then obviously camp, a lot of preseason games, and just being able to get all that work in, just to prepare us for tonight. So yeah, going into it, I think the way that we've been playing, we've been trying to, be at the top of our game right away. So going into it, I think we're ready to go.
How would you say you felt just through the games that you've been able to play, your practices overall?
Yeah, I've been feeling really good. I felt like the games gave me some things to, focus in on and, work on in just in practices. And then practices, I've been feeling really good. So yeah, I feel like I'm in a really good spot to start the season here.
Bigger picture, the group is focused a little bit on wanting to have a good start to the season, but
for sure.
I mean, it's one game at a time. Your first chances tonight. How do you kind of stay in the moment, but get the big picture. You don't want to rerun it again.
Yeah, for sure. I think for us, I think you said it. I think it is just one game at a time. If we get over anxious, overwhelmed, and start tightening up because we don't want things to fall apart or anything like that, it just makes things worse, right? So it's our job just to focus in on the Calgary Flames tonight, one period at a time, one shift at a time, and work our way through this game, learn from this game, move on to Vancouver, and keep that rolling. It's a game of growth, especially since we have 82 games. We got a lot of time here to work with each other and get to know each other, and just on the ice, off the ice, and everything. So it's certainly a process.
There's Stu Skinner. 2 words, good start. I think he has to have a good start to the season. The word that he used, that Stan Bowman used, and we've been using is consistency. That's a big thing for him. We know he can play at the highest levels. Can he just be consistent? Last night in the pod, I suggested if he finishes with a .908 save percentage, that's good. He's good to go. Zubie, thoughts on Skinner and his season upcoming?
Well, 908 would be fabulous. I mean, there's no doubt that I was watching the show from my hospital bed and watching and listening as I struggled to stay alive last night. And I heard you guys talking about that. I mean, 908 would be crazy because the save percentage has completely changed. And I'm this isn't a complaint, but I don't think there's any doubt that it's because of the sports betting aspect of things, because they now review every shot to make sure it's a shot on goal, that it's like actually going to go on net. And I think you've seen, as someone mentioned it on the stream last night, that league save percentage has been trending down by a couple of points every year in the last 5 or 6 years. I think it's directly tied. It's completely different now in that sense. So 900 would be great. 908 would be amazing. If Stu Skinner has a 908 save percentage this year, I would suggest the Oilers probably win the division and don't have any questions about upgrading that position. I want to see Stu have fun. That's what I want. I hope for him when he's out there, bobbing his head to the music and stuff. And I know it's impossible to keep that energy going when you let in a couple of stinkers and the crowd's on you and whatever else. But I feel like Stu's at his best when he's having fun out there. And I felt like most of last year, even when he was playing well, he wasn't having fun. So I hope he's a little bit lighter. I hope he can have fun out there. When you can have that positive mindset, it just, the game seems lighter. It seems easier. I've never played at that level, but I know when you can have kind of a positive mindset, everything just seems the game comes to you a little bit more.
That's great insight about the save percentage. Maybe 908's a little bit over the top from my perspective, but the consistency, and I love the having fun. I think that's important for him because he is a great spirit. People really like being around him. All right, we'll have the full post-game breakdown tonight with Got Your Back, probably later, I don't know, 11, maybe 11, somewhere 11:15. It's going to be a late one, so set your alarms, have a nap this afternoon. Let's switch gears now and see what else is going on around the world of sports as we get into playing the field.
We'll take our break, take our first break.
Take a break. Okay, let's go for it. Yeah, take a break. Let's do her.
Delicious small premium roast coffee at McDonald's is still just $1 plus tax, which means you can enjoy great tasting coffee every single day. Rich, full-bodied flavor at a price that's just as satisfying? Must be McCafe.
So at Timber House, our guiding philosophy is naturally inspired living. We believe that through design, we can solve problems and enhance people's lives. We follow biophilic design principles in all of our builds to incorporate natural materials, natural light, to enhance all the spaces in a home. When you have your space perfectly reflect who you are and what you value, and it's made well, we think that that just leads to better living.
Oh, I'm liking this. Very, very nice. Very classy. I like that. I like that theme music. Very, very good. Welcome back, everybody. Let's take now a look at the world around the world of sports with Playing the Field. Brought to you by HSC Core Services. Need a safety program? They build it. Need it managed? They'll do it. Stuck dealing with those online safety registries your clients make you sign up for? Yep, they handle those too. And yes, they also do core audits. Visit www.hsccore.com. That's HSECOR.com for more info. Everyone's talking about the Blue Jays. I know it's the first or second day, I guess, of the NHL season, but everyone's talking about the Blue Jays up 6-1 last night, and they lose. Aaron Judge is pounding that ball all over the place, and Shane Bieber only went 2.2 innings, so not great. Tonight, the Blue Jays, Zubie, are resuming their series in New York, but they don't have a starting pitcher to start the game tonight. They're going with a backup. Louis Varland will start the game instead of a true starter.
Yeah, I'm concerned about this game. It feels like everything is pointing towards a likely fifth game, especially because of the way the Blue Jays bullpen, they're doing a bullpen game, and the bullpen has been completely knocked around the last two games. I couldn't believe when they sent Varland out there last night to go against Judge. Judge was the first batter he faced, and Buck, or I don't know if it was Dan or Buck, I think it was Buck who said, Judge is 2 for 5 against Varland in his career history. And by the way, the 2 hits were both home runs. I said, what, excuse me? So that's that was to me so strange. Yeah. I thought, wow. I'm like, this isn't the movie here. Like, oh gosh, Major League. This isn't power against power. Ricky Vaughn against what's his name there. Like they said, this is like this power against power matchup. And then to see that home run, you're just like, what were they thinking? I like John Schneider a lot. I'm not in the business of like, I hate talk about firing coaches or firing managers. But goodness, if they ended up losing this series, only taking 3 starters, did they think they were going to sweep them? They almost did, but was that part of the plan? We think we're going to sweep them because this bullpen day is setting up poorly, and then in Game 5, then they're going to go back to Gosman or the kid. Like there's talk about going back to Yasavage. And then do you trust the kid again? In another big start, they've seen him once. I don't know. I think they still probably find a way to pull it out at home in Game 5, but I'm nervous.
Yeah, and I'm nervous for this game as well tonight. Just so those who don't know, Max Scherzer wasn't on the roster. Now, he'd been knocked around for some home runs, so maybe that's the plan. But game tonight, around supper time, so let's hope they're able to get it done and surprise us. But I am nervous as well, especially when you consider how they played D. They can't play D that bad again. 2 games. They're a good defensive team, but last night was not normal for them, for sure. The next thing up, NHL teams continue to lock up some stars, and the free agent class for next summer continues to shrink. Kyle Connor and the Winnipeg Jets agreed to an 8-year, $12 million extension. So $96 million for him. A couple things I love the way this guy plays. He skates fast and he scores. That's what he does. I love it for Winnipeg. I think that, when they lost, Dustin Byfuglien kind of quit and all that stuff, it was kind of shady. Trouba left. Then they're Scheifele and Hellebuck signed same day, and I think that's marked a new beginning for this group. Yeah. They traded away Pierre-Luc Dubois, and now a star in the NHL. And he's a star, one of the best goal scorers in the league. Signs a massive extension, so it's great for Winnipeg and it's great for Canada. More of these stars, American stars, are staying in their cities. We see Connor sign up, we see Matthews sign up, and now you see Kyle Connor sign up.
I love Kyle Connor. What a player. I'd love to have him on my team.
Yeah.
He's so consistent. I love that too. He's consistent. I think he's a Lady Byng nominee. I don't know if Struddy, you don't like players apologizing and being nice out there, but I think the style of player he is, that works. Like, I don't know. I like that. I like everything about this guy. Yeah, I'm happy for the Jets to get him. It's a big deal. That's a big money deal for him. And now this is the last year that guys can sign 8-year extensions, right? In the CBA.
Yeah, so
I mean, I think there's some there's incentive for guys to be signing these extensions this year, which is probably why the UFA class for this offseason is shrinking so rapidly.
Yeah, Kempy's going to be one to keep an eye on, right? Kempy's down there in LA, and I think Eichel, they're talking about that they're getting close to, or they're working towards getting a deal done. And I can't see him signing for anything less than 8 years, and a deal that makes sense for him. He's made a lot of money already, and I'm sure he'll just want to stay there in Vegas. Finally, we saw this goaltender, Arthur Shelovs, a couple of years ago against the Oilers in the playoffs do pretty well. While they signed Kevin Lankinen and Demko, no room in the inn for him at the Vancouver Canucks, so they ship him off to Pittsburgh. And last night, Shelovs gets his first shutout of the year with the Penguins against the Rangers. Many people expect the Rangers to make the playoffs next year, but Zubie, Shelovs, give Kyle Dubas credit. Kind of got him off the scrap heap in some ways, as far as cost, and maybe they found one here.
Yeah, I mean, the return for him was Chase Stillman and a 4th-round pick, and Chase Stillman was a 1st-round pick, but I don't think he's even made the Canucks roster, starting roster this year, so he's effectively for now a 22-year-old minor leaguer, even though he was a 1st-round pick. So the return on Shelovs was not much, and I don't know, with how difficult it seems to find goalies with great pedigree, there was already a body of work here for Shelovs in the NHL, even though he's a young guy. And I'm just surprised there wasn't a better deal out there for the Canucks. This could turn out to be a huge steal for Dubas and the Penguins. It might not be enough to get them back into the playoffs, but it's a nice pickup for now and for the future.
Yeah, they're going to be a much changed team in the this season. There's a lot of players that are probably going to move out. I wonder if Sidney Crosby or Malkin are in that group as well. They've got some older D, they have some youngish. It's a good start for sure. But we talk about them as a playoff team at the end of the year. I have a hard time believing that. Okay, that was playing the field, everybody. Let's pause. When we come back, we're getting off the fence, and Zubie is going to make us think about old 97 at the time of his signing. We'll be right back.
Warranties are useless if the company that sold it to you is nowhere to be found. With 20 years experience in Alberta, DLR takes pride in backing its products with honesty and integrity for the long haul. Because summers are for parties and toasts, not chasing warranty ghosts. Go vinyl at dlrvinylproducts.ca.
Dennis here from Weiss Johnson. Are you looking to get into the trades or have a kid graduating high school wondering what to do? Weiss Johnson is looking for career-minded people to work for us. Opportunities truly are endless. Become a service technician, gas fitter, refrigeration technician, install residential or commercial heating and plumbing systems, fireplace installations or service, duct cleaning. We are the company where you can learn all aspects of the trade and pick which career path to take. We have an awesome benefits package and offer school reimbursement too. Visit wjcareers.com today.
I really like this one, Struddy.
They're jamming. Oh, yeah, we're rocking you through your lunch hour. Thanks for joining us today on Struddy's World. We'll be here every Wednesday from 12 to 1. It's now time to get off the fence. Brought to you by DLR Vinyl Products. Ready for a deck that lasts? DLR PVC decking brings you Becca Deck and Wolf Serenity, exclusive boards with a pure PVC core, resistant to water, mold, and insects. With a natural wood grain finish protected by UV inhibitors, your deck stays looking new without the sanding and staining of wood. In stock now at both Edmonton and Calgary locations. Visit www.dlrvinylproducts.ca. Why would you? I love that. I love that. I got to save that one. Okay, Zubie, the floor is yours. Let's hear it.
All right. Well, Struddy, nobody likes to be given an ultimatum, be it something at work or in a relationship, anything like that. But I think Connor McDavid has either directly or indirectly given the Edmonton Oilers an ultimatum with this new contract. I don't want to be negative about it because it's obviously an incredible team-friendly deal. It shows great leadership. But I think Connor is all but directly saying to the team, this is the ultimatum: win a Stanley Cup in these next 3 years, or I'll be exploring playing somewhere else. And I'll say, as a fan, I actually don't mind that. I'm kind of okay with that because I feel like the terms are laid out clearly. I think if he had said the things he said about it'll be a feeling and I just want to win, if he had said that and then hadn't signed and gone through this final season in his contract and then signed somewhere else, I would have been ticked. But if this is the case, if there's this 3-year window and it's basically the ultimatum, we got to win one or I'm out of here, I'm kind of okay with that.
I hear what you're saying. And I think that he is driven to win. You can tell by the money he left on the table. I mean, you could say he left anywhere between $5 and $10 million on the table. Really, he could have any amount, really, because he would have got it. I don't know that he's given the window, or sorry, given a time. What I see is different. I think the Oilers' window is only so long. The core is aging. They've got a great core: Connor, Hyman, Nuge, Leon, Bouchard, and Ekholm. And we'll leave Walman and those guys off the side for now. But those 6 guys, if you look at their contracts, in 3 years, McDavid's up. Hyman's up that year. After that year, Leon has 2 more. Nuge has 1 more. Bouchard has 2 more. And I think, I want to say Nurse has 1 or 2 more. And Ekholm has 1 more. So I don't know that the clock's ticking on him coming or leaving or staying. I think it's ticking on the age of this core group, because they're getting older. So, I think that the next 3 years they have huge possibilities, especially the money left on the table by 97. But I think it's the biological clocks of these players that are ticking, because they're not 27, 28 anymore. These guys will be 33, 35, 36, 38 in the case of Ekholm.
Yeah, and I understand that. I think the contract, certainly that's the contracts all line up, but I do still feel like in 3 years, if you've got Draisaitl, McDavid, if Hyman were to re-sign, if you got Bouchard still young, Nurse he's in the same age range with those guys. As long as you're still coming in, filling in the bottom end with the Howards and the Savoys and those, you can extend the window, because the core, maybe Ekholm is on his way out, a couple guys on their way out, but I still feel like in 3 years, as long as you continue to fill in with some of these younger guys, the window's not closed. I don't think the window closes in that 3 years, but it's certainly this team as it exists today. That's the case. And that's, I guess, the challenge of the GM, to always be kind of replenishing with the younger guys. But if Savoy or Howard turn into the offensive players we think they could be, then the window's a little bit different, I think.
100%. Those 2 guys, if they become top 6 forwards, that's huge. It's absolutely humongous for this team, because now you got Hyman, Connor, Leon, Ike, Howard, and Savoy, and then TBD. I think they trade for someone this year, right? That's 6 players that are up there, and those guys can all play for a number of years. Maybe Hyman has to drop down, but you can fill that in the back end. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how this plays out. This team is going to be good for 3 years for sure. And I do think they get it done. But man, what a contract. I still can't believe it. I'm getting texts from friends in Sweden who can't believe it. I never get a text from them about anything. Okay, now it's time for you to be heard. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We've got a great stream today. It's time now to Ask Struds, brought to you by our good buddies at Timber House Developments. They made Schauger's space look amazing. They're the leader in custom and infill development, with the knowledge and experience to bring your dream to life. If you're tired of cookie cutter, copy and paste designs with no soul, see the team at Timber House and discover how naturally inspired living can make your life better. Take all the guesswork out of your infill projects and work with experienced leaders. Visit timberhouse.ca. Zubie, what do the people want to know today?
Well, I'm not going to try to say this fella's last name. Let's just call him Adam. He says, what would be a team-friendly deal for Kulak, and what do you think he could get in the open market?
Okay, team-friendly. We just went through this. Is he 2.75? I think he's hold on, my things. I think he's 2.75 right now. For some reason, I can't get it down. Can you get it there, Zubie, or no?
I can. 1 second.
Yeah, so he's 2.75 right now, I think. And so comparables at CC. CC, a guy that you can compare him with, I don't know, maybe 4. You see some pretty big deals. Walman just got 7, so I don't think he's a $7 million guy. So is he somewhere between 3 and 7? Is it 4? Is it 4.5? But for him, I wonder, Zubie, it's not more about the length of the contract rather than the number. So if he said to him, we'll do a 4 or 5 year deal at 4, is that more than, so he gets the total amount of money, but maybe it's not, 4.5 or whatever. So again, I don't know the exact number, but for a guy like Kulak, because he skates so well, I think he can play a long time. I'd be more interested in that, the term length rather than actual funds, if that makes sense.
He's 31. So he's, that another year, you get another year, you bring the AAV down. That's kind of what you're thinking. Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking.
And you were right. It is 2.75. And what did Cece get? 4 point.
He's 4 point something again. But I just think that I look at, because he can skate so well. So you're not worried about his foot speed, right? He's an unreal skater, and he's strong and skates and plays well and hasn't missed many games because of injury. So Cody's 4.5. Now Cody is 31, so same age. So, if you said to him, we'll give you 5 years at 4 or 5 years at 3.87 or something like that. Something to look at.
Okay. Queen Bee Amy says, who do you think will be the biggest problem for the Oilers tonight from Calgary?
Well, I think there's 2 guys, skaters, and then 1 non-skater. So let's start the non-skater. Dustin Wolf's a good goalie.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a good year, so you got to get after him early. But Rasmus Andersson seems to get up for these games against the Oilers. And then I'm looking at Nazem Kadri. Had a good year last year and competes all the time. So, those are 3 guys you have to have difficult nights tonight if you're the Oilers.
I love Dustin Wolf. I love those super athletic goalies. He reminds me of Jonathan Quick. Yeah. Prime Jonathan Quick. And I think for me, that's just the goalie in me, I guess, but I feel like that's going to be the biggest thing for them to overcome. If a goalie really feels it, if a goalie can make a big save in the first, couple of shots he faces,
yeah.
Confidence just goes through the roof and you're just feeling it. And I know Dustin Wolf, I think this will be his first year as he sort of took over last year. I'm not sure if he was the opening night starter last year or not, but it's clearly his crease now. He's amazing. So we'll see. I think he could be the big hurdle tonight if they can't get to him early. Struddy's rally scarf, with his own account here, wants to know what was a game day ritual that you had to do or did. What was your game day ritual, Struddy?
Yeah, you know what? I wouldn't say it was a ritual. It was more of a routine, just to prepare. So I was a huge believer in stretching. I stretched a ton. And I just, I'd go on the ice. Before I go on the ice, I'd stretch. When I got off the ice, I'd stretch. I'd go and stretch, watch Price is Right. And then I'd get home, I'd stretch. I just always felt that stretching was really important. But the same meal, the same way I tape my sticks, all that stuff, it wasn't so much of a, it wasn't like if I didn't do it, things would go badly. It's just that's how you prepare, because you're there for 2 hours before and you kind of go through your thing. But the meal was the same. I always had a handful of pasta, a chicken breast or 2, and a handful of corn if there was, and then a Diet Coke. That was it. Every single pregame for years, like 13 years.
What's the significance of the Diet Coke? You like the bubble, or are you just?
Yeah, I like the bubble. Just a little fizz. I don't know. Just something different. And yeah, I was like, guys would have ice cream and stuff. I didn't have that, and I'm not judging. I just didn't have it. So a little something a little kind of sweet, I guess. And especially on the road, it was the same all the time. You just sit there and talk to the guys and go up and have a nap. Man, I miss those naps. 2-hour nap midday. God, you felt good the rest of the day.
My only pregame ritual is that I have a coffee driving to the rink and as I go in. And of course, some other people on my team laugh at me because we have some games at like 11 p.m. and they're like, "Are you seriously drinking coffee?" Like, yep. I have no problem getting to sleep after having a coffee and playing hockey, but that's still my one pregame thing that I always do. Just Steve listening here. He wants us or you to predict the Oilers' 10-game start, reminding us that in 23-24 was 2-7-1, and last year was 4-5-1. So let me just, I got the schedule up here. I'll just shout these out quickly. So we got Calgary, Vancouver at home. Then we got Rangers, Islanders, Devils, Red Wings, Sens on the road. That's 7. Habs at home is 8. Seattle, Vancouver on the road is 10. You don't have to go every game, but
Yeah. You know what, guys, and good question by Scuba Steve. I'll send you that autograph, by the way. I think that, I think they have to be over 500. The problem is this team hasn't done that. They are slow starters, so they have some tough games in it. Like Ottawa isn't easy. The Rangers aren't going to be easy. The Devils aren't easy. Calgary's going to work hard. Canucks are trying to prove something with a new coach. So I think if they got 6 wins through that stretch, considering who they're playing, but also considering their history the last couple of years, I think that'd be a good thing.
I'm going to, without picking the game specifically, I'm going to say 7-3. At this, again, this year feels different. And we're not talking about, last year we were talking about, oh God, I hope they don't have another terrible start. I don't think that's the talk this year. So, I mean, it could happen because they're slow starters to the season. They're slow starters in games very often, but this feels like a page turned here. So I don't know. I'm going to say they show up and play better early, and with the Connor news and all the other contracts here coming into play, I think they're going to come out and roll in these early games.
Let's hope.
Yeah. Last one here, Dallas Scarlet, more of just a comment, going back to the Blue Jays, says, now I'm not an MLB manager, but planning a bullpen game seems like an NHL team planning for an e-bug game. I'm not sure I'd go quite that far, but it does seem, for a team whose bullpen has not been the team's had a lot of strengths. The bullpen hasn't been one of them. So to put that aspect of your game so front and center in such an important game, and for that to be part of the plan, it's not like, oh, we had Bassett on the roster too, and then he got injured in practice, so we're going to go with a bullpen game. Like, this was part of the plan. It seems very strange to me, Struddy. Maybe they will completely surprise us this afternoon.
2 things. One, I think maybe that gives us a hint as to the confidence they had on some of the other starters. And 2, I'm nervous. I am nervous. Because who's game 4? Is it Eric Lauer game 4?
For
the Blue Jays?
They said they're starting Varland.
Okay, no, for game 4. Or it is game 4. Sorry,
game 4.
So far, yeah, right. And then they come back. Yeah, because they have Lauer's in the bullpen. I wonder why they didn't use him at all for this game tonight. That might have been a guy I might would have, or maybe they plan on getting.
Maybe he's going to be in there.
Second in there. So we'll see. But yeah, it is. I'm worried about this game. And then you go home, and yeah, that place is rocking. But it would have been nice to wrap it up and give those arms a rest. So hopefully they get it done tonight. All right, Zubie. Great questions. We really appreciate everyone tuning in, and we appreciate all of our sponsors who help us put this thing on air and have fun with it. Looking forward to this game tonight, Zubie. Any final thoughts about this game tonight and what you're looking for?
You know what I want to see? I want to see a couple of flashes from Mike Howard. That's one of the things. I want to see I want to see his speed. I want to see him drive the net. I just want to see a couple. I felt like I didn't certainly watch every minute of preseason. I watched some, but I want to see a little razzle dazzle, a little flash from him, even if it doesn't end up in the net. That's what I'm hoping to see.
Well, he's with 2 very smart veteran players on his line. And I think that they'll know how to calm him down and help him work. All he has to do is get the puck, get to those spaces, and make the magic happen. So let's see what happens. Keep an eye on Regula, everyone. Watching Regula tonight. That is your homework. We'll have a Got Your Back tonight. Like I said, around 11, I'm guessing, somewhere in there. Depends on how long it goes after. Thanks for tuning in. Zubie, it's great. We're back here. Episode 1 in the books.
Oh, we crushed it. We crushed it like Aaron Judge on a guy we've already hit 2 home runs off of. So
too soon, buddy. Okay, everybody, thanks for tuning in. We're back next Wednesday with another edition of Struddy's World. And tonight we've got Your Back again. Thanks to all of our sponsors. We'll see you tonight. Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the game, everybody.
Good afternoon.